Welcome back to Gridiron and Growth, the podcast that brings you inside the minds of sports and business champions, taking you to the forefront. It's your boy, Ryan Harris, champion Super Bowl 50, alongside my Super Bowl champion teammate from the state of Michigan, Bennie Fowler. We just had the Super Bowl, Bennie Fowler. This is the post-Super Bowl show. Yes. Bennie Fowler, Super Bowl champion. What did you see when the Kansas City Chiefs beat the San Francisco 49ers for Super Bowl 58?
Shout out to both teams for making it there. But Kansas City, we both picked Kansas City to win, most importantly because of number 15 and his incredible play and who he is as a leader to that team. But then also Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid did an incredible job. And one of there are a couple of main points that I think really separated the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl that people can apply to their business lives. Number one, clear vision in terms of what you're trying to achieve and what you're trying to accomplish. Number two, knowing your roles on the team. And then number three, operating from a place of strength. When we look at the vision for the Kansas City Chiefs, incredible in terms of everybody wants to achieve the Super Bowl, but I think they break their goals down in terms of division and, hey, how are we going to accomplish this and achieve this with the roster that we have? Knowing your roles. Spagnuolo, no ego, the defensive coordinator. What an incredible job and a masterful job by him in terms of the defensive game plan he put together. And then think about all the people who touched that ball in that game, from Travis Kelce to Pacheco.
Cole Hardman, who wasn't even on the team earlier in the year.
Exactly, and he ends up scoring the game-winning touchdown. When you think about that, knowing the roles, and then helping your players operate from a place of strength. I think we saw Kansas City in the first half, maybe first quarter and a half, really get off to, we're going to try to throw quick screens, and that game plan wasn't working. And they were able to adapt and adjust to what was going to work best and help Patrick Mahomes and the defense operate from a place of strength. So that's what I saw in terms of the winning side.
The clear vision I want to double click on, because I got the sense, even at halftime, that the Chiefs knew what they were doing. They were prepared. Like they had a clear-eyed vision that they were going to get to the Super Bowl, make adjustments at halftime that were going to be the difference. Like they were just so that final drive of the second quarter looked like that, where they got 3 points. I'm just like, man, San Francisco gave their best shot. After that opening fumble, they had too many penalties, 3 on one drive. Insane. That can't happen. They're not ready to play. And then you got the Juwan Jennings throw for a McCaffrey touchdown. I know that looks great to fans. And to me, I said, they just pulled one of their best plays out of the hat to score. Like they had to do that trick play to score. That's a problem come the third and fourth quarter.
Another good leadership lesson is the ability to adapt and adjust. They had a clear vision in the game plan that they actually wanted to achieve against San Francisco. And they quickly realized, this isn't going to work. Let's adapt and adjust in real time. And I think Andy Reid he just does a masterful job. I think people need to start paying attention to how Andy Reid was leading. And everybody's going to talk about the Travis Kelce moment.
He almost gave him a heart attack, okay? Everybody's going to skip over that fact. But that's that game. That's that emotion, man. And that's a big thing. But I do want to point out.
Wait, before you go there, I want to point out to listeners in the audience as well, regardless of if Kansas City had won that game or not, it might have been a big deal to the media. But Andy Reid and Travis Kelce were still going to have a conversation after that game in terms of like, hey, man, I'm super passionate about trying to win the game, lose or draw. Like, I want to be in the game and I want to make an impact on the game.
And I always felt like, hey, as a coach in the game, like during the week, absolutely. You're my coach, I'm the player. And in the game, we're equal here. And I can mess things up, and so can you. And since you're going to tell me when I'm messing up, you better believe that I'm going to tell you when you're messing up. And that's what Travis might have been telling Andy Reid. Stop running these plays. We know what to do, right? We know what to do. But this is what people are missing about Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. They played that game like a prize fight. It's 12 rounds. You have to go the distance. And San Francisco wasn't ready to go there. And to your point, Benny, the Kansas City Chiefs were flexible to be successful. Their game plan at first didn't work. So do we pack our bags and go home? No. We wait because we want to give them the idea that they're winning. And oh, by the way, you got McCole Hardman into the game before he ended up making the game-winning touchdown catch. Probably a good thing to do, right? You got some other guys like Watson and Pacheco. And that's what I love, to your point of just the management style in Andy Reid. He understands you have to make your Joes, as we call them in the NFL, the average guys, pros. They don't have to be
100%.
excellent. They don't got to be stars, but they got to be pros. And what did you see from the Kansas City Chiefs? The entire season, they developed Rashee Rice. They made sure that Watson and Pacheco got better. Pacheco increased his carry percentage about from 59 to 77% into the playoffs. So he gained the trust of Andy Reid. But they built that long track record and that track into the Super Bowl, which is what, week 28? But that's what I loved as well when I looked at the leadership. What else did you love about the Kansas City Chiefs?
The ability to finish. And I think you see this in the business world. I think you see it in life. And they finished at the end of the game to tie the game up. And then in overtime, they finished. And to me, that comes down to your mindset and your belief. What else did you see from a leadership lens and perspective that applies to real life?
The best are the difference. And I think that we fool ourselves sometimes in thinking collectively, if we can get together and, the sum is greater than the parts. No, the parts matter. The parts matter. And the best part in the NFL right now is Patrick Mahomes. Don't get it twisted. He cannot be stopped. The fact that, think about this. His final drive in which he won the Super Bowl, he went 8 for 8. 8 for 8 throwing the football. And then ran for 27 yards in addition. One of them on a 4th and 1, the quickest decision to keep it that we've seen all year from a quarterback. And what is that? A perfect play. Go to the weak side because pressure's always coming to the strength. If that linebacker, you and I knew as soon as that play started, we were like, if that linebacker steps off of Kelsey, one step, the ball's going to him. If it doesn't, he's running. And literally the first step, the linebacker turned to Kelsey, he pulled the ball down and ran. Like, the operating speed that he was moving in key moments, that's what we want to see, ladies and gentlemen. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest. And I get it. He's got 4 more to win until he gets to Brady. I get it. And it might take 5 years, okay? It might take 15, but it might take 5 years for him to do it. So I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear anything about it. No one has done it the way Mahomes has. And ask me, Bennie Fowler, you played receiver. Did any quarterback do more with less receivers this year than Patrick Mahomes?
No. But I think Patrick Mahomes,
But if you think about Patrick Mahomes like a T. Higgins, right? A Marquise Brown even. Patrick Mahomes doesn't even have a top 50 wide receiver. Yeah, he's got Travis Kelce. I'm not going to discount that. And there's still 3 other positions that you have to have. They don't have dudes in those positions. Look out, man. Look out.
I don't want to get off topic, but I do want to say and address this point is that Patrick Mahomes doesn't have to win 7 Super Bowls to be better than Tom Brady. I think they talked about it in Brady's first Super Bowl. He accounted for 1 touchdown. They were scoring on like special teams and defense and things like that. Patrick Mahomes' first season, he accounted for 50. He threw 50 touchdowns. There's no comparison in terms of the type of player and talent. Now, if we want to talk about like the overall career
body of work,
Patrick Mahomes, we have to talk about that, then fine. But who's a better football player? It's not even close. Better football player, okay? Not better quarterback. Who's a better quarterback? Patrick Mahomes is. Even if Patrick Mahomes, who says that Patrick Mahomes has to play 25 years? Who says he wants to do that?
He might not.
If Patrick Mahomes wins 5 Super Bowls in his 15 years of playing, that'll be the best winning percentage.
Exactly. Great way to put it. Now, Bennie Fowler, I've been waiting for this one. What did you see in terms of leadership when it came to the 49ers in the Super Bowl game?
I'm really disappointed in terms of Kyle Shanahan. I thought it was a great game plan. I think stick to the game plan. You do what got you there. Give the ball to number 23 and continue to give him the ball until he can't run the ball anymore. He had 160 all-purpose yards and a touchdown. I would just keep giving it to him. Just like Andy Reid finds a way to get it to number 4 and number 87, get the ball to number 23 until he can't do it anymore. I think San Francisco got off to a great start running the ball. They found out what works. I don't know why they would go away from what works. It doesn't make sense to me. If running the ball is working, let's continue to run the ball. Kyle Shanahan, get out of your own way, man. Who on that sideline is telling him, hey, get your head out of your ass?
Kyle Shanahan made the number one mistake that leaders make in business. You fail to prepare for yourself. Look, part of being an athlete is you have to have victory over yourself. You think athletes want to wake up all the time at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning and get a workout in? You think we want to make no excuses? We got the excuses, but we're just not going to say them. You have to have victory over yourself. And in all the game planning that Kyle Shanahan did, he forgot to game plan against himself. Because the book on Kyle Shanahan, we saw it this year against the Ravens, when he has a lead, he starts throwing the football. And what happens in the third quarter? He gets a football after an interception and throws the ball 6 straight times. If you ran the ball 3 of those times, you would eclipse 2 minutes of actual game time. And oh, by the way, the Chiefs were down 3 points with 1:52 to go. Like, this is what I'm talking about. He didn't plan for himself. One of the things I loved about Mike Tomlin at the Pittsburgh Steelers is he always said, never minimize your role in a success or failure. And for Kyle Shanahan, you have to not minimize your role. What did you do? You had a lead again. And again, you wanted to go to the passing game. Against Chris Jones and George Karlaftis. Karlaftis had 10.5 sacks in the regular season. 10.5. Like, Chris Jones? Come on.
Ego will lose you these games.
Yes.
Ego will lose you a lot. Ego will lose you a lot in life. And I think ego has lost Kyle Shanahan these games right here.
The penalties. I mean, talk about what did you think when you saw all those penalties by the 49ers?
So me, when I see penalties, I see lack of discipline. I'd be curious to know Kyle Shanahan's preparation in terms of getting the team ready. Kyle has been there as a head coach. Some of those players on that team have been there. What was the communication like the week of or the couple weeks before?
And I think coaches miss one of the big things that Peyton Manning did to make us successful with the Omaha is you got to make it so that there's no play. I've been in offenses where you're like, all right, it's on 2, and everybody's going, on 2, on 2, on 2, on 2. But then what happens is, you get to the line, the tight end says, is it a Ringo or a star? You're like, star. Oh, gosh, it's on 2. It's a hot. Oh, dang, I moved, Peyton was brilliant in making sure there was no play. And I think that's the evolution that people miss and how great he was as a quarterback. He understood what everyone else he was playing with was going through, and he made it simple for us. Yeah. As a leader, can you make things simple for your employees? Because that's what creates speed in performance. Simplicity creates speed in performance. And if you don't make it simple, you're going to have problems. And the 49ers got too complex.
1,000%. So shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think now, as the NFL season is over, now we go into the draft. Now we go into the offseason. And one of the things why I think that is so important is that this is also where championships are won. This is also where incredible teams in the corporate world are built. Draft, what is your culture? What do you stand for? What are your values? And how do these people actually fit onto your team in terms of the personality, in terms of the plays that you're trying to run, in terms of the things that you're trying to achieve in your business, finding the right talent and right pieces?
I mean, to develop the talent. Look, Patrick Mahomes didn't start as a rookie. The Kansas City Chiefs, even with his amazing ability, developed him behind Alex Smith. A lot of companies now, smart companies, are giving money to top employees for professional development every year. And I want to bring up one point about the Chiefs because you brought up culture, and I think it's so important to highlight the difference. Because Isaiah Pacheco, after the game, was asked about what it felt like. Now, remember, Isaiah Pacheco's only played 2 years. He only knows winning Super Bowls. What a thing for him. And he said, on this team, it's about family. Forget about me. I love you. Man, when you're playing a team with that culture, woo,
That's not a player to player thing. That's a top down thing. So people actually feel that throughout the building, from the ownership to the GM to the coaching staff. And that's how they coach and that's how they interact. The forget about me, I love you means that, hey, I can get in your face and I can tell you what I'm feeling and what needs to be done, and you won't take it personal.
Because you know I love you.
Yeah.
Right? Expectations are a form of belief.
With that being said, everybody, this was another episode of the Gridiron and Growth podcast, breaking down Super Bowl 58 with your Super Bowl champions, myself, Bennie Fowler, and my really good friend, the best author, speaker, Ryan Harris. Appreciate you guys for listening. Please like and subscribe and continue to share this with people. We appreciate all your support. Thanks.